9. If the Sabbath is universal, why did it only begin with Israel? Answer: the Sabbath did not begin with Israel. It was established at creation. Skeptics claim that the Sabbath only began with Israel, implying that it is not universal. However, the Bible proves that the Sabbath existed long before Israel was a nation and that it was meant for all humanity. 1. The Sabbath was instituted at creation, before Israel existed. Genesis 2:2-3, KJV. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Key points. God established the Sabbath on the seventh day of creation. This was before Abraham, before Moses, and before Israel as a nation. God blessed and sanctified the Sabbath, making it holy for all people, not just for Jews. If the Sabbath began with Israel, why did God bless it at creation thousands of years before Israel existed? 2. The Sabbath was observed before the 10 Commandments were given, Exodus 16:23-30, KJV. And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said, Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. So the people rested on the seventh day. Context. This event occurred before the 10 Commandments were given at Mount Sinai, Exodus 20. God commanded the Israelites to collect manna for 6 days, but on the seventh day, the Sabbath, no manna was provided. This proves that the Sabbath was already in effect before the Mosaic law was given. 3. Abraham kept God's laws before Israel existed, Genesis 26:5, KJV. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Key points. Abraham lived hundreds of years before Israel became a nation. He obeyed God's commandments and laws, which included the Sabbath. This shows that God's laws, including the Sabbath, existed before Israel. 4. The Sabbath was given to Israel as a sign, but not only for them. Exodus chapter 31:16-17, KJV. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Key points. The Sabbath was given to Israel as a sign because they were chosen to be God's representatives. However, it is based on creation, not just Israel's history. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth. The phrase perpetual covenant shows that the Sabbath was meant to last forever, not just for Israel. Israel was chosen to preserve and teach God's law, but that does not mean the Sabbath was only for them. 5. The Sabbath was meant for all nations. Isaiah 56:6-7, KJV. Also the sons of the stranger, that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him, and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. Key points. The sons of the stranger refers to Gentiles. God promises to bless and accept those who keep the Sabbath, proving it was not just for Israel. His house is a house of prayer for all people, meaning the Sabbath is universal. 6. The Sabbath will be kept in the new earth. Isaiah 66:22-23, KJV. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass, that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Key points. In the new earth, all people will keep the Sabbath, not just Jews. The phrase, all flesh, shows that the Sabbath is universal. If the Sabbath was only for Israel, why does God say it will be observed in eternity by all people? 7. Jesus declared that the Sabbath was made for all humanity. Mark 2:27, KJV. And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Key points. Jesus did not say the Sabbath was made for Israel. He said it was made for man. Greek, anthropos, meaning all humanity. This confirms that the Sabbath was never exclusive to Israel, but was intended for everyone. 8. The early church taught the Sabbath to Gentiles. Acts 13:42-44, KJV. And when the Jews were gone out of the synagogue, the Gentiles besought that these words might be preached to them the next Sabbath. And the next Sabbath day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of God. Final verdict. The claim that the Sabbath only began with Israel is false. The Sabbath is a universal law established by God at creation, given for all humanity, and will be observed in eternity.